right.
La Voz del Pueblo radio show wouldn't be possible without our wonderful sponsors. They are CBS Grocery Store, owners Carlos and Eddie Salazar. Illusions Hairstyle, owners Zaragoza and Cristina Martinez. Taqueria Vallarta, owners...
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we have a feedback. We have a feedback. Right. Hola, Sandra. How are you, Jimmy? And our good friend David Florez in the house. Welcome to Dali. Sandra?
Okay, yes, sir. Okay, dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together today. Bless this time on the air, that our words may uplift, inform, and bring comfort to all who are listening. Guide us to speak with kindness, truth, and purpose. May this program be a light in our community. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, thank you. Hola, compadre Jimmy, ¿cómo está? How you doing?
Thank you, and welcome to another segment of our show, La Voz del Pueblo, the community voice. Hoy tengo el orgullo de presentar a un gran amigo que no los hemos visto en 11 años or so. Bienvenido, David.
Thank you,
and,
gracias.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been in B County, but early 20s, I think, early 2000. And since that time, I've gone on. I'm a consultant still, and traveled pretty much around the North American continent, assisting businesses and organizations with developing their strategic plans, risk management plans, and just business plans altogether, trying to get them to ensure success. I also tour with a good friend of mine, Brigadier General Orlando Salinas. We do a lot of leadership training for communities, municipalities across Texas. And so I'm out and about quite a bit. I was in Alaska just last week. I will be in Phoenix, Arizona tomorrow. And from there, Florida, and then New Orleans. So I'm out and about the country helping organizations develop their businesses, ensuring that they don't just they're not an overnight type of organization, but that they have they're developed plans that last. And the key thing with that is that we emphasize growth, because I was having a conversation with Sandra, and if you're not growing, you're dying. And so that's what I'm so glad to be back in B County, because we can help you grow. That's just what I enjoy doing, and watching something. The good Lord says He enjoys small beginnings, and from that you can see something big grow.
That's good.
And that's what I want to see here, is this organization that we grow, and that the association brings in more people, not for us, but for everyone.
That's
because when we all come together, individually you might become strong, but when you come together, you become whole. And we'd like to see B County become a whole, and in that we become strong, and we become a force to be dealt with.
Thank you, David. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you for being with us. I can recall when you first came to Beeville and you went to be a consultant for the county judge's office, and that was back in the early 20s. And I recall some of the things that you were able to spearhead for us. Most of the highways that we have today are due to the fact that David Florez was the point man. You were the one who was traveling, you were the one who was communicating with the leadership in the state of Texas and the nation. And you also put together some coalitions for us. I recall the Bayou to border.
Border to Bayou. Mm-hmm.
That's correct. From Houston to Laredo, mm-hmm. and all in between. Every county judge was a member of that coalition. Thank you again, David. And tell me, why is GPA? Why was it created? Why was GPA created?
Well, this is a community-driven effort where some leaders from the community saw that there's a need, and whether it's because of lack of services or lack of education on the people, that we're able to bring that education, bring those services to the parts of the community that are in need. And again, it's it's community centered so that we listen to the people. I remember my abuelita always told me that before you reply, try to understand why did somebody say something, as opposed to just reply, listen to understand. Listen. Instead of listening to reply, listen to understand. And what are the needs of the people? Why are they talking about those needs? And what can we do to ensure that we meet those needs? And the beautiful thing about this association is that the members that are coming on board with us, they have the skill and the know-how, and they've been through this before, including you, Jimmy, that you know your way, you can navigate your way through Washington, through Austin, and get in touch with the right offices so that we can affect change where change needs to happen.
That's great. That's great. Now, who does GPA serve?
GPA really serves the entire population of B County. Now, we do have a priority population where there's some underservice going on in certain areas of the county, and we want to make sure that though that population is served first, whether it's through a need that they have or through education. You know, one of the things I do is when I travel, I work a lot with the VA hospitals, and I'm amazed at how veterans are unaware of the services that are available to them, and so they don't get so many of them are homeless because they didn't realize VA would provide them a home. And the same situation can exist here, where our citizens simply are not aware of services that they can access to improve their lives. And then, of course, if there is something that is lacking that we can bring forth for them, then that's also what we want to do. But again, as I mentioned earlier, we serve the whole community, the whole county, because in serving everyone, we become united.
GPA, of course, is focused on the west side of town, which is where the most need needs today exist today. And again, thank you for accepting our invitation.
David, I find you a very interesting man. I'll tell you what.
Thank you.
You know, what you were telling us about where you've been, where you're going, and all that. And to me, it's you're a very, very interesting person. But what makes GPA different than the other organizations?
Well, what the key thing with the GPA is that, again, we are community-centered, people-centered. We listen to the voice of the people. That's why it's called La Voz. And, you know, when we're developing our strategic plan, we're going to develop it with the consideration and the input of the people and the consideration and the input of stakeholders. Stakeholders being the resources that are available to the people. So, in working with both of them, we'll identify what a need is and then go to a particular state agency, government agency, county agency, and work with them and say, okay, how can we make this work for the people and work for the stakeholder as well. So we'll develop that strategic plan. And then, of course, we need to look at ourselves. What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are the opportunities that are out there? And then what are the threats? Because no matter who you are in life, there's always a threat. And so when we become aware of that, you know, we can develop a plan saying, okay, these are the roads we want to take. This is the path we want to follow. This is the path we want to avoid. And, you know, I hear a lot of, well, these people don't like me. I say, it doesn't matter. In life, you're going to have that. My abuelita used to always tell me, you might be the sweetest peach on the tree, but there's some people who just don't like peaches. Yes, es la verdad.
Es la verdad.
You know, so
you got that right.
You know, when we develop our plan, we're going to keep that in mind. But what makes us different is it's community-based, person-centered, and we take that input along with stakeholder input and develop a direction that we want to go in.
And how can we get involved in that?
Anyone can get involved. You know, with social media nowadays, it's really a matter of just getting online, reaching out to us with the simplest things. Hey, I have a need for this, or I have a need for that. And we'll certainly take a look at that and see, okay, is there a pattern here that has developed that you're not the only one that has that need, but there's others within the community. And then we'll take that, develop a plan, and say, okay, who do we need to approach? And not just present the problem, but the solution as well. because, my good friend, the general, he always said, one of the biggest problems I ever had was that people would come to me with a problem but no solution. He said, I won't listen to you unless you bring the problem and a solution. And so that's what we want to do, is identify a problem, but then also tell our stakeholders, here's a solution. Here's how we can rectify this and help us to do that.
You know, what we said, Beeville is the hub city of this area here, like slowly,
Absolutely.
30 miles, 25 miles
Yes.
area. You know, they come to eat, they come to play bowling and movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we are sitting in a good place. All we need is help.
Yes, yes, and that, even in early 2000 when I came to B County, I recognized you have your strategic plan, and it can be beautiful. It can look, wow, we're going to do this, but strategic positioning is just as important. And B County is strategically positioned where we have, wow, I mean, unlimited opportunity. That's why the Navy was here for so long, because they had the best flying weather, they had best weather conditions, best everything. And that hasn't changed. And we have the highways now that go through here. Thanks to Jimmy Martinez, the Highway 59 has improved. The only ones that have really taken advantage of that, unfortunately, were the cartels. And it's easier now. 79 miles shorter from Laredo to Houston than if you went up Laredo, San Antonio. And so we can really push that, and economic development in that area alone. Again, we're so well strategically positioned that it's limitless as far as the possibilities.
So before I give you my question, David, let me thank our sponsors. We have Councilman Ray Garcia, Ward 4, CBS Groceries, La Vallata Restaurant, and Jerry and Velma Martinez. I want to thank the sponsors. Okay, so my question is, what are your short-term and your long-term goals for GPA?
Well, short-term goals, of course, is continue to organize and get people on board with us, that people with influence that can really help us. And because the more people we get that have that experience, that have the know-how and the contacts, then the stronger we become. And so get ourselves organized with that. That's a short-term goal, short-term plan. And then once we have that, again, we'll go take input from the whole community, input from stakeholders, and develop a long-term strategic plan, which will be looked at almost every year, because things change from one minute to the next. In my business, I had a strategic plan in 2018 that went up to 2021. And I had a risk management plan that said, okay, in the event I lose this business, that business, I'm going to divert here and do this and do that. I never planned for a 3-year COVID situation. I don't think anybody did. And, that changed the whole world, basically. But we have to continually look at getting input from everybody, from every source, so that things can happen, we can continue to grow. It has to be a living plan. And by that I mean that, for instance, in some of the situations, 10 years ago, vaping was not an issue. Smoking wasn't. Smoking was not allowed in any type of business or buildings. Now it's vaping, and so now we have to adopt the law so that vaping is no longer. And we're going to use that same principle here. Whatever it is that society is moving to, we have to do that. I'm sure AI is going to be a big issue at some point for us, and so we have to incorporate that and see, okay, how is that going to affect us? What are we looking at? What are the long-term effects, and how can we prosper from that?
Right. I know you and my dad touched a little bit, but why the West Side? Why is the West Side a focus?
Well, because historically the West Side, from what I saw, has been underserved. And along with that, people get, from early on in age, they get programmed at a point. And so they think, well, that's just the way it is. Especially in the Hispanic community, where people will just accept things, that's just the way life is. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way. And on the West Side, well, I remember, I don't know if we can afford to go to college, but we did. And all the better for it, whereas the neighbor said, no, we couldn't afford to send our kids. And, you know, the economic difference was obvious there. So, the west side, we need to first educate, let them know, hey, this is available, that's available, let's do this. What is it that they want to see? Because again, when we help one part of the community, we help the whole community.
Right.
And it's a kind of, if your toe is hurting, you know, your rest of your body's fine.
That's right.
But you won't be sitting down because that toe hurts.
That's right.
And so until you get that toe better, you're not going to be very mobile. So we want to make sure that our toes are working good, along with everything else.
That's good.
You got that right. Yes. All right.
How can GPA help families today?
Today, GPA, first of all, it's a matter of communication. So let's get in touch with us and let's see what the issues are. And then, of course, through the resources that we're garnishing from new members almost on a weekly basis, see who it is that's most appropriate to address that situation. So, you know, whether it's an issue of income, it's an issue of health, issue, whatever. I'm sure we have someone within our organization that can address that, that has expertise to that, or get us to the right people so that we might be able to assist those families with any type of issues. No matter how insignificant you might think it is, but we do want to help you. We do care about that. Because, again, your little problems can become big problems later. And if it's a problem for one, it's a problem for all.
That's great. That's great. Is there a future for GPA in this county?
Absolutely. I think, you know, again, collaborating with the city, county officials, state officials, we are the voice of the people. As long as we keep listening to the people and sharing that with community leaders, state leaders, national leaders, then we have a future. You know, and the only way we wouldn't have a future is if the people didn't speak up. And I want to encourage everyone to speak up, no matter how small or insignificant you think the issue is. Even if you think, well, nothing's going to change. I hear that a lot in our Hispanic community. No va a cambiar, nada va a cambiar. And yeah, things have changed. We've seen that over the years. Back in the early 90s, Jimmy Martinez was very instrumental in having change on the west side. And the only way we did it is through the voice of the people. And so, yeah, I encourage you to do that. There's a great movie out called Walkout. And it's a story of the kids, the high school kids in East Los Angeles. And they got so tired of the prejudice and everything else that was going on there that they decided one day that they would walk out of the classroom and until changes were made, because nobody listened to them. And until their voice was heard, then changes were made. And all of a sudden, the colleges were inundated. Before, it was like 2% of the Hispanic population that went to college. And then after those walkouts and after the reform, it kicked up to over 50%. And so, but they did it through action. They did it through voicing their concerns. And that's what we need to do here, is voice your concern. We have the people in place that can do something about it, or know someone that can do something about it. And that's a start. You know, you'll never, ever, you know, that old saying is, if you shoot for the stars, you might not hit one, but you might hit the moon. So, you know, just shoot high, aim high. We're going to go big or go home. And we're going big.
Good. I'm
So-
so glad to hear that.
So one thing I want to say also is, we're not here to create division or anything. You know, we're not here to take over anybody's. We're here to work with other entities. We're here to work with the chamber. We're here to work with the schools. We're here to work with BDA. It's not us trying to come in here and trying to say we're going to do all this on our own, blah blah blah. Because that's not our intent at all.
No.
You know, we just want to be able to clarify that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and actually their participation is going to be vital, you know, within the community. So, and I anticipate that they would be eager. It's a great opportunity for the whole community
Right.
to just come together and become stronger.
That's right.
You know, I had a home in Ruidoso, New Mexico, in the mountains, and they had a flood there that destroyed the racetrack, everything else. But the community came together, and on the marquee, you know, like you've seen it in other places, but it said Ruidoso Strong, and it's going to be B County Strong. You know, let's get together and show the world what we can do. because
That's right.
together we can do all kinds
That's
of great
correct.
things, you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
You look at back in the 60s when Chase Field was going, you know, Chase Field provided more than, I think, a third of the pilots in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And I was in New Orleans, you know, a couple of months back, and New Orleans was known for, you know, the French Quarter, the beignets at Café du Monde, the cathedral, and all the, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Combo.
The Cajun, yeah, the food. Ooh, I love the food. But they were known for that. That was a big tourist attraction. Suddenly, someone said, "Let's put in a World War II museum there." And to everyone's surprise, that is the #1 attraction in New Orleans now. And I translate that to B County. Boy, you know, more than a third of the pilots from Vietnam. And why couldn't we have a Vietnam museum in B County? How many people would that bring? And if you've never been to that World War II museum in New Orleans, I encourage you to at least look at it online. But it's so popular that that's the #1 attraction now in New Orleans. Guess what? Vietnam, with the impact we had on that war, could be, your B County could be a big attraction across the state for every veteran. Because I sponsored the Vietnam Wall twice, the largest moving wall twice. And the people that came, they were, of course, the spouses of people in Vietnam, veterans themselves, the children, the grandchildren. There were just thousands of people that showed up, hungry for more on Vietnam. And anyway, that's just a vision that I'm seeing.
Well, that's a beautiful
But
vision.
it is
Say so.
a beautiful vision. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're
And we're
right.
strategically positioned to capitalize on that.
You make me feel like Beeville, all it needs is the right key to unlock
Yes,
and see what happens.
yes. And I have the faith that, you know, they say, seek and you'll find, knock and it'll be answered.
Exactly.
We just need to seek and we need to find, and then knock on that door.
That's right.
David, you come from a small community.
Yes.
You come from a so small community that's even smaller than Beeville.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we got one blinking light, and I have a burro, and that's the loudest thing in the whole area. I'm out in the country.
Right. You come from a small community called Sandia.
Yes.
That's where David Florez comes from.
Yes.
And David Florez now is the key opening up doors for many, many, many entities throughout the world.
Yes.
And Beeville has landed again in Beeville County, Texas.
Yes.
And you're here to help and support GPA in all that you can do.
Absolutely. Because to me, it's an opportunity to stay home. I travel so much that when you called me about this and asked, and I jumped on it because I can stay. You know, I can stay home more and work on a community that is close enough to me that it's going to impact my community as well. So, yeah, I'm ecstatic to be here with you guys and back in B County.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Any more questions for David?
Sir? No, I want to say thank you for coming, and doors are always open for you.
Thank you.
I find you a very interesting man.
Thank you, Mr. Montes. Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, you can reach us, you know, through social media. Please feel free to reach out. Anything we can do for you, we're here. Now, if you reach me personally, I might not get back to you right away because I'm on a plane or I'm, you know, with an organization. But I will get back to you within 48 hours.
I have one more last question.
Yes, sir.
What do you advise young people to do with their lives today? And there are so many of us who are lost and who have no guidance, mainly because we have no support.
Yeah.
What is your advice to the young people and their parents today?
You know, one of the things in our schools teach us, go to school, get educated, get a job. And rarely do schools teach us to become entrepreneurs. And never have I seen a school say, what is your dream? And several authors that I've read have always said, follow your bliss. And your bliss is your purpose. I can honestly say, since the day I graduated college, I've not worked a day in my life. I love this. I know I'm in my purpose then. And when you love what you do and it's not work to you, you're in your purpose. So find your purpose. It doesn't matter where you're at. I helped an organization in Houston. A lady had $200 in her pocket, but she said, that's my dream. This is what I want to do. I want to do this. I only have $200. I worked for free for about a year. About 12 years later, that $200 translated into $7 million budget a year because she followed her bliss, her dream.
Can we know the name of that lady?
Marilyn Jones was her name. Unlimited Visions Aftercare in Houston, Texas was the organization. And as a matter of fact, I think I brought her here one
Yes,
time.
you did.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yes. And so that's what I tell the young people. What is it that you really earnestly in your heart want to do? And follow it. You're going to get told no a lot, but that only builds that only helps to build you, make you stronger. You can't, when you're 2 years old, you can't drive a Cadillac. You're going to have to go to school, you're going to have to learn some things, you're going to, how to maneuver that thing. But if that's what you want to do, after studying, after working for it, and after getting it, then you can drive your Cadillac. So, there's work behind it, blood, sweat, and tears.
What can you tell the parents?
Encourage your children. Find out what it is that they want. A lot of parents always say, you're going to, a good friend of mine, he became a doctor. And his parents sent him to school. They would tell him to Monterrey, to the technological thing. He didn't want to be a doctor. When I was living in Austin, he came to live with me after he finished school. He didn't want to be a doctor. He wanted to play guitar. He was a musician. He took his test. He failed it by 1 point to get his medical license. He never went back. He disappointed his parents, but that was his parents' dream, not his dream. And so don't push your kids into do what you want or what you do. Let them discover what it is that they do and encourage them, back them up, and support them. That's the best that a parent can do for a child right there.
Do we have a little more time? David, I'd like to expand on the, what does education mean today for the future?
For the teacher?
For the future.
Oh, for the future. Education, it's a good thing. I'm not knocking education at all, but we could, for college to start asking them, what's your vision? What do you see? And start expounding on that and helping them, as opposed to, okay, get your degree, get a job, and do this. And I've seen people climb the career ladder and get to the very top, but what good does it do to climb to the top of the ladder only to realize you climbed the wrong ladder and you're not happy? Too many people, you see that, oh, they're rich, they have money, and especially like some of these actors, and then they commit suicide. They commit suicide because they might be rich, but they're not happy. Money doesn't bring us happiness. It's good health, and it's doing what you want to do. Again, I've never worked a day in my life, and I'm as happy as can be. And I do it for free. If the tax man wouldn't come knocking on my doors, but he does. So.
Now, I want to ask you this loaded question.
Okay.
Are we paying you to do this?
Nope, absolutely not.
You're doing it for
And
free
I do
again.
it for free. Yes.
And you're going to do all this work for us for free, called pro bono.
Pro bono. Up until the point it starts costing me to travel, then we'll have to talk. But at this point, no, I'm happy to share anything I have, any resources I have with B County, because I have many good memories for B County and the success we have. I think, Judd, we had maybe 2 years, and in that time, we garnered about 22 to $25 million.
That's correct.
That we brought in,
That's
and a great success. And again, it's because we believed we could bring it, we could bring it in, and we had to work for it.
Yes.
And even the state recognized that we were one of the top 15 hardest working counties at that time.
That's correct.
So yeah, it.
Well, a lot was accomplished back then.
Yes.
And there's still a lot more to be accomplished.
Yes.
But David, again, thank you for accepting our invitation. You are an exciting person. You are a doer. You don't stand behind and say what's happening. You literally make it happen. And
you,
we so much appreciate your taking this pro bono opportunity, as I call it, to be here and to help B County achieve and reach the goals that we know we can reach.
Thank you.
Unidad es lo que cuenta para todo el pueblo.
Amén.
¿Hablas el español, David?
Sí, hablo español muy bien.
Ándale, bien dicho. Muy bien, de vuelta. Muchísimas
Like I
gracias
said, yeah.
a la estación esta, ¿verdad? Y especialmente a las personas que pagan por este programa,
Yeah.
our sponsors.
Bayville City Council, Ray Garcia, Ward 4, and CBS Grocery, Vallarta Restaurant, and Jerry and Velma Martinez and family. And we thank you, and again, I like your shirt.
Thank you.
We're going to eat ahorita at Vallarta.